Alrighty. We are back again. Another live with Top Gamer. Top Gamer Pro 2025. Now, I basically woke up this morning and I was really excited because whenever I opened up my Facebook, like I usually do, I open up my Facebook and I take a look and see what's going on. And I opened up my Facebook today. And to much of my surprise, this was on my Facebook this morning when I opened it up. Now, I'll try to see if my camera will focus in on it. But I woke up this morning and I saw this. I might be a little bit on the bright side and it might have trouble focusing in. But I can read in the details, and they are basically saying about Hitman 4 basically coming out. And it says this: Hitman 4 is coming, and Agent 47 isn't finished yet. Now, this basically is one of my favorite titles. Now, it excited me because I have played Hitman 3 so much for a while before I set down the controller. It says, after the massive success of World of Assassination Trilogy, IO Interactive has confirmed that a new Hitman game is in development. The return of Agent 47 means more realistic assassination, larger locations, and the complete freedom to execute your plans in your way. And basically, it also says, will this mark the beginning of a new chapter for Agent 47 of the darkest ending in the series history? What do you want most in Hitman 4? A deeper story or a more creative assassination option? Now, when I seen that, I was like, whoa. I'm like, because for a little while, I didn't even know if they were going to consider Hitman 4. And it blew me away yesterday when I saw that. I was like, yes. I was hoping for it. And the fact, the sheer fact that they ended up releasing, or that they're going to end up releasing another one, it excited me. And then I also saw today that, and this is coming from Gaming Store, England's United Kingdom. Agents are returning. The Division 3 is officially in development. After the success of entries, Ubisoft is working on Division 3 to deliver a more realistic and intense shooter survival experience than before. Leaks and expectations suggest major improvements in graphics, and here we go, folks. Like we've been discussing about AI a lot, and like we've been talking about how AI is going to they're going to make a push. It says right here, AI and multiplayer systems with an open world full of dangerous missions and challenges. The game is also expected to focus more on storytelling and survival elements, with fully utilizing the power of next-gen hardware. Do you prefer playing solo or co-op with a team in Division 3? Now, what really excites me, okay, these are two games from IO and from Ubisoft. But these are two titles that I'm addicted to as well. That I am excited and ready because these are two titles that when they do drop, I know these are also two more titles that I, myself personally, would invest in when they release. Because I am addicted to Hitman. I have played Hitman 3 a lot, and same goes for Division 2. So I will be excited to see how they end up going about Hitman 4 and how that one plays out. And I'll be excited when it comes to Division 3 and seeing what they do with it and how they go about that. Now, I wanted to jump on here and do a live with everybody because I wanted to enjoy the excitement of these games, but I wanted to enjoy the excitement of these games with you guys. And the fact that they're bringing these games to the latest software and hardware, that it makes me even more excited as a gamer. Because two games are coming out, and they're coming out basically, right around this year, maybe next year or so. But these are games that are also going to make me happy because they're game titles that I can add to my collection. They're game titles that I'm going to be able to have as well and invest in when they do release them. So, if you're noticing in the corners of my screen, the stuff I put up, I put this stuff up because I want you guys to understand that whatever you do to contribute to this channel, it will go toward the channel. Every bit of what I do, with, whoever helps with the channel, you subscribe or, the sharing and everything you guys do helps the channel. Because I want to build this channel so I can do a lot more with this channel as we share games that come out, as we share experiences like this with one another, as we share our opinions of what we like, what we don't like, what we're excited for, because I want to bring an experience to this, and I want to be able to share the gaming experience with all of you. I want to be able to be a part of this like all these other content creators do. Like I Am the Mag is a cool guy that I've met through doing this, that I like what he brings to the table personally by himself and when he teams up with others. And I want to be a part of that. So that's why I started this. I started a channel because I wanted to be able to share my thoughts, my opinions, and views on games that I've played. But I'm excited. I'm ready to see what they're going to do with Hitman 4, where the story goes from here, where they're wanting to take this story with Hitman 4. I'm excited for Division 3. And the fact that we have so many games in this year, amongst others that drop, the summer showcase that's going to be coming. So we have so much to look forward to be grateful for, that I don't think we have to worry so much about the corporation. I'm not saying that we should not be on our toes and be vigilant about what is going on and not paying attention to news. But I don't think we should let ourselves get drugged down by the negativity that some of it brings. be focused more on the games and what these creators that make these games for us, let's be more excited on what they're doing. You know, the people that are creating the games for us to play, let's support those people. Let's be grateful for those people that do that for us. And let's be excited for that. Because these are people working hard to bring us the best games possible. You know, with what they're given to make these games for us, so we can sit and enjoy an awesome experience, to enjoy awesome stories of our favorite trilogies in games and all that. You know, we should be grateful for all this, because if it wasn't for them doing this, we wouldn't have all these awesome game titles, all these awesome things that we're enjoying right now. I mean, we wouldn't be able to enjoy thousands of game titles out there, if not more than that. You know, I'm excited because almost every other day of the week I'm looking on my social media pages and I'm seeing certain games dropping. And a lot of it, as of late, has been dropping for PlayStation and Steam and Xbox. But the biggest thing is PlayStation 5. And then what drives me up the dang wall is this whole thing with Xbox is dead. How can you say that when you see the games dropping for PlayStation 5, Xbox, Steam? You see all three of those logos if you look at the bottom of these games that drop. They're still making games for those consoles, for that hardware. So be grateful that there's still games being made for the systems in existence and in place. Yeah, let's be excited for that. Because there's no way that any of this is going anywhere. Not when you're still seeing games dropping for them. You know, there are still games in existence. Why? Because we're gamers. We continue to game. And as long as they're seeing us turning on our games, our consoles, as long as that stuff is occurring, these developers at Sony, at Nintendo, even at Xbox, you know, they're seeing us turning on our games. As long as that's happening, you're going to see games being developed for all of it. Because as long as the players play, the games will keep coming. The more that we support our games by simply getting on them, playing them, and putting the hours in, you are going to see games being developed. As long as we are going and voicing our opinions and letting our voices be heard, they will continue to keep making them. Because eventually, it might sound quiet to them, but the more that you keep on voicing your opinion, it gets louder and louder and louder, and then they will have no choice but to hear it. So, you know, we're gamers and we're passionate about this hobby, and as long as all of us stay as passionate as we are, I don't see games going anywhere because it's such a huge hobby. And when you have millions upon millions that game every day, there's no way games are going anywhere, folks. You know, as long as you are happy with the hobby that you're doing, as long as you're excited for this and passionate, and you keep playing those games, man, these companies are just, they're going to keep pumping it out. As long as you're willing to pay for it, and even if you're hurting their wallets a tad, that's sending a message saying, hey, yeah, the thing of it is here, realize that you're doing a little bit too much, and you're doing it in a way that's kind of driving us bonkers, but at the same when you're still willing to invest, even if you're spacing on your investment because you're thinking about what's smart, and instead of not doing something that'll mess your home environment up, and that you are also thinking about your families. And sometimes you're not buying into the corporate BS that they're going to throw at you. Um, but the thing of it is, as long as you still invest in that, they're going to keep making the more that people pay for it. Even if hardware goes in at an expensive rate, and say people that are on the low end of a spectrum that cannot pay for it, you're still going to have those people that can afford it, and as long as they're paying for it, that's where gaming will stay alive. As long as you got those ones that can still pay for it, you're still going to have it staying existing, because one way or another, the big companies such as Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, as long as they're seeing in the metrics that people are paying for those, and even software, that's how they know it's not going anywhere, because people are still paying for the games, and they're paying for the accessories, and they're paying for stuff that goes to it. You know? But I think marketing needs to improve more. You know, I think that maybe they should also look into marketing. Like when I was growing up and through the 90s, like you used to see a lot of commercials for games when they would get advertised. You would see advertisements everywhere for a lot of games. Now, I think that they should go back to that, because if you really want people to buy and all that and be interested, then your marketing has to really attract the crowds. Especially for those that especially if it's a game title that people are addicted to. That if you sell it very well, people are going to invest. But if it's like a commercial, and say it only lasts about 2 days, and then after that you never see it again, then it's like, okay, what was the purpose of that? You had it up for about 2 days, and then how many people you think are going to see it in 2 days? Consistency is key, because nobody's going to be able to see what you're trying to market within just 2 days. It takes longer than that, because we all live busy lives. Yeah, there's people out there that are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they're lucky if maybe they pick up their device, or that they look at devices, because there's people that, like I said, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some people that are taking care of babies and all that, that they get so exhausted, or when they're coming off of a work shift and they're so exhausted at the end of the day that they might not see it right away until the following day. Those people also. So the shorter the marketing, the less chance you have of targeting your customers. But the longer amount of time, the easier you're going to target those customers, and you're going to get it right at them. Especially if you got a game, say, that is like a third person shooter or a first person shooter, and say you got a couple of people that are addicted to stuff like that, and you market that enough, you're going to aim right at the consumer, and you're going to make that consumer want to go after that. And then they'll be like, whoa, this game's awesome. I gotta buy this. I mean, this is awesome. They did a great job on this. I gotta save up and get it. Because you gave that consumer enough time in their own time to catch up to seeing it. And the more that you do that, the better, you know, it is to get that, to get a crowd attracted to your product. So, the more you're doing that, that's how you're going to get them. But I wanted to come on to share about, Hitman 4 and Division 3. And I can't wait to see how these two are going to work out and how well they're going to do. Now, Ubisoft, some people say that Ubisoft is like bad. They made bad choices. Some ways they haven't done good with certain things, and then other ways they've done good. Personally, as a consumer, or I should say as a customer of Ubisoft's, I can say personally, I've never been disappointed. I really have never been let down by them. Since I've played their games, I've been happy with it. I've had fun with it. I've enjoyed the. Sorry about that. I've had fun with Division 2. I've enjoyed Division 1 all the way to the end of that. I've enjoyed Division 2 as I've constantly played that at one time. And I'm excited to see where the story goes in Division 3. So, I've always looked forward to their titles. And I've always looked forward to everything that they've added. So, and graphical wise, I could say they've done better than some other games I've played. Now, I'm not going to sit here and compare them to like Rockstar or anything, because I don't think that there's really a major comparison between the two. But I think in their own right, as far as Ubisoft and Rockstar, I think that they both do a great job within their games, and this is just coming from me, through my eyes of what I've seen from playing their games. So, and whenever there's been issues, Ubisoft has addressed them. Like when you bring stuff up to them, they address it. They don't hesitate to address if there's been an issue or a problem. Like when you tell them that, they get right on top of it. They don't wait to get right on top of it. They jump right on top the second something is going wrong, or a glitch, or something is buggy. As long as you turn it right into them quickly, they address the issue. Whether it's a server issue, a game bug, or whatever it may be, they're right on top of that right away. So, yeah, they don't tend to mess around. That's what I like about them. And the way they tell stories, they don't do bad at telling stories either. I haven't been disappointed in their storytelling at all. So I don't think I've ever been let down as far as their storytelling. Same goes for IO. I've never been let down even by their storytelling either. I've sat and I've played Hitman 3. I even went and I've done the freelancer mode before. I would sit there and I would play the freelancer mode for hours and get enjoyment out of it. Even doing the story, like what I like about the Hitman games is the way you can knock out the enemies and then sneak around and then steal their clothes, and you could dump them in any spot to hide their bodies, and then you could just walk around as a guard or whatever. As long as you do that stuff and just blend in and not get yourself caught, I mean, that stuff's hilarious. Trust me. I mean, that stuff is funny as anything. It's funny as all get out when you do that. So that's what I love about that game in general. So I'm excited to see like where are they taking this game, this next one. What are they gonna do with it? What's the story gonna be all about? You know, what all are they going to include? Is there going to be different weapons? Is there going to be different characters? Is there going to be a continuation of the story? You know, how are they going to carry on? How are they going forward with it? So, but I'm sure, more time goes by, there's going to be more details coming out. And I know for Division 3 it's going to be the same way. More details will come out, more things will come out over time, and more will be revealed as time goes by. So I know that for a fact right now. More stuff will get released. Same goes for Division 3. I mean, I'm excited to see where the story will carry on from here with it. I'm excited to see what all is going to be included in this one, and to see what, how they're going to carry on from here. But I've never been disappointed. And I'm glad to see 2 more games, and 2 of my favorite games, that are getting included amongst many other titles. So I just wanted to share that excitement with you because, it just made me so happy to see that. So, and not only that, I had to come on here because it makes me so happy to have this channel. It makes me so glad to be able to come on here and voice my opinions and have a channel where I can do that and be a part of something, and share and voice my opinions on pretty much whatever I see. I'm excited what the future holds with all of this. I'm looking forward to June because June is a big month. You not only got the summer showcase, but you got the marketing that starts for GTA 6. You got that's going to ramp up, and so much more. You got games that are filling up, that basically filled this year up, along with Hitman 4, and along with basically Division 3 that is in full swing development. So, there's just so much to be excited for. You basically have things that are going to bring about so much excitement in the game world now. I mean, you have so much to look forward to. You got so much that is going to be out there for everyone. Like now you can definitely say there is a variety for each type of gamer now. Now you can say there is thing, or you could say there are games out there for every type of gamer to choose from and to pick from. So, nobody will have to be disappointed this year. So I don't know what all, or what else is going to be shown or what else is going to come this year, period. Wow. Now they're talking about the game of Prototype. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 reports say Activision is currently conducting focus group testing for Prototype. Wow. And I just ended up coming across this on my Facebook. If you guys can see that, I don't know if it'll focus in for you guys, but that is first Halo PS5 content revealed. PS5 Pro, PS5 themes PlayStation, PS5 Halo, Odyssey, and Helldivers 2. And I just ended up coming across that on my Facebook as I was scrolling. God of War Trilogy PS5 remake set to launch on PS5/PS6 in 2028 per speculations. Full remake of the first three mainline games of the series. This does not include Ascension or the PSP games. There is discussion of changing of camera placement. So right now, that's basically also too Gods of War. That the speculation is for a 2028. Sorry about that, folks. I bumped my mic. But they're saying for speculation and the possibility of a 2028 release for Gods of War. So that's for the Gods of War trilogy. And right now they are talking about a possibility of doing some camera change up for the trilogies. since they are remastering that, they are talking about um, doing some camera rearranging for Gods of War um, before it gets released, possibly in 2028. But that's just what I read just now on my Facebook. And that they're doing prototype testing when it comes to Black Ops 7. Is what I just said. Now, don't quote me on that, because sometimes what you see on Facebook, you can't always believe what's on there. But,
for the first time. You're the listener snack.
but sometimes I get on and I scroll and I just look, just to see. New Uncharted reboot, PlayStation 5. Naughty Dog has a second game rumored to be Uncharted. And it's going to be Uncharted 5, The Lost Embros for PlayStation 5. And for PlayStation 5 Pro. But usually, I try to take a look at something. I mean, I look on there. I just scroll and see, But that's how I ended up seeing like Hitman 4 and all that on there as well. So, I mean, sometimes you can believe what's on there. Other times you really can't believe what's on there. But I was excited to see Hitman 4. I was excited to see the Division 3 pop up. I mean, I'll be excited for those for a while. And many others, over time. I'm excited to see improvements get made little by little when it comes to all the hardware and games in general. And all that, to see what comes down to it. So, I mean, is this going to be an exciting year? Yes. Do we have a lot to be excited for? I definitely would say yeah. And when you think about it, all the varieties of games that is going to be out there on the market, yeah, I would definitely say be excited. Be thrilled for what's to come. Because it can only get better from here. I mean, in some ways, that they're including AI, yeah, I mean, that could end up making things get messed up. But the thing of it is, when they do that, and they put out AI and stuff. And if they end up seeing malfunctions or problems with it, and they see that it doesn't work, sorry, and they see that it doesn't work, or they realize that it'll be too much of a hassle, then they'll have no choice but to make changes when it comes to that. So, but I'm looking forward to a lot of things that are going to be happening, over the next stride of time. Because, as a gamer of almost 40 years, I've been at it 37, 38, I don't know. I lost track because of the years I've been at it, and I really haven't kept a very good track record of how long I've been at it, gaming wise. And the reason why I haven't is because when I've been doing this for so long, I don't even remember the first day I started. All I know is the first time I ever started playing a game, let alone picking up my very first console. When I first started, and I seen getting inside of a game world, what it was like for me was just this exciting thing for me. Like, I couldn't believe how much fun it was. And then as the games got different, and as the games were changing, and the worlds were changing around me, I started seeing how much more fun they started to get, and advanced, of being able to do a lot more. Then the hours I would spend with them, and the addictive nature. Especially the storytelling end of it, and I didn't focus as much on multiplayer aspects of games. These games were games as a service where you had multiplayer. But, but yeah, you had these games where you could sit and you could play them like that. But that wasn't as much of a focus for me. As much as it was just being able to play and unfold the story. Or just playing and having an adventure. And just playing and watching things unlock. Whether it was clothing, gear, weapons, vehicles, parts of lands, more characters in certain games that you could go to for jobs, and things to be a part of. When I started doing that, it wasn't so much about, okay, friends are online on my friends list, I'll go jump on and I'll game with them for a few hours. Now, I would do that only if I had friends that were wanting to jump on with me. I would do it if there were people that would be willing to game. Or if there were people that wanted to do that, yeah, I would jump on with them and sit for a few hours helping them out, or just gaming with them to be an awesome friend or an awesome pal. I mean, yeah, I would get on there and enjoy a game with them. But most of it, I was gaming by myself because I felt as though that was better off for me. And most of it also, too, is because in my teenage years, not everybody that could understand me wanted to really game with. So when I was growing up, I didn't have like all these wonderful friendships. I didn't have a lot of people that I gamed with. I was really the odd individual out. So when it's like that, you pretty much play single player games. And that's what I did. I was just fine doing that though. You know, I was fine sitting there playing single player games for hours and enjoying them and collecting stuff and just playing them and getting achievements. It was awesome too. Going through each of the eras and each of the console generations, watching the changes in each of the generations as they brought out this console for this generation and that hardware for that generation, the way the games changed, the way that it all changed around us. But it always centered around the gaming and the awesome experience. And things got better and better because they figured out new ways to make the games better, new ways to make the experience better, new ways to make gamers comfortable when they ended up playing, new things for the gamers to use to play their games, accessories to go with their systems. Those were the cool things that made gaming fun. And it made gaming exciting. And it gave the thrill to the gamer. Because there was always a new way, a new accessory to sit and play the game with. Now, you might have had years at times where you might not have had a lot of games that would come out. But that was because, at times when you didn't have a lot of development studios and some studios were just starting out and they didn't have a huge employee base behind them, that was understandable. Because some companies were early, they were starting out, but as they got bigger and bigger and they grew because of more gamers joining, more people started to play, the bigger the companies grew. So the bigger these companies grew, the bigger the budget. Then you started seeing the games getting larger, more open world. So you started seeing the games getting bigger. So you started seeing the games getting bigger worlds to them where the game developers could do more with them. And once you've seen that, that's whenever people, were paying more for the experience. And once the game developer did that, they started getting ideas for all kinds of games. And you started seeing varieties of games coming out. Varieties open worlds, varieties of shooters, racing games. Sports games were always around. So you always had sports. You had racing games. But different shooter games started coming around. And the superhero games started getting bigger. And then you started getting newer titles for some games because of the fact is there were bigger budgets, so, you know. But the way it grew, it started to get more interesting. Because then these developers started coming up with like all kinds of different stories to make all kinds of varieties of games. Games that nobody ever thought would be a concept story for a game at all. So, but yeah, I mean, it was awesome watching changes like that. You know, I mean, I have enjoyed being passionate for this hobby and knowing that when you're a part of something bigger than yourself, and gaming is bigger than myself, you know, because of how wide of a reach that it has out there. But I get excited every time when I see multitudes of games getting released out there, and when I see varieties of games getting put out there, different genres of games being put out there, you know, and different ideas of things that are coming out, you know, even horror games and all that. It's nice to see. You know, it's awesome to see it. So, you know, it's nice to be a part of that. I mean, it's great to be a part of it. So I am hoping that even as we keep marching forward, that we keep seeing that doesn't go anywhere. That the way games are coming out this year, this is the way I want to see games coming out. But I also want to see these game developers also continue to create ideas. Not just remakes, but also to make ideas, you know, always look to create new ideas, fresh ideas. You know, always try to come up with something else that's like never been done before. You know, don't be afraid to try to extend a glass ceiling. You know, don't be afraid to reach for the stars. You know, and always look for that new and next big thing for these games, because you do that and I guarantee that you're going to have, you know, a lot of awesome games that will come out, you know, even for next year and next gen, and you know, and you can make some awesome games that way. Because as you get this new technology out there, that the possibilities are going to be endless of what you can do to make things even more awesome. Because AMD creating such an awesome chip for Magnus and creating such awesome tech that you're going to have, you know, the thing of it is you come up with unique ideas, and that is going to be something that will be great to go along with the new technology. You know, it's like scientists that always come up with these brand new ideas for stuff. You know, if scientists in a lab can come up with new ideas and new creative ways to try to cure an illness or a sickness, imagine what you can do in the gaming world if you would implement the same thing. Think about such awesome games you could make if you were to implement the process of like making original ideas. Like if you would sit down in a boardroom and just hash out things and just sit and like let your mind at ease and just like let it think about ideas to come up with original ideas, or just to think about different ideas for games, different stories for games. Everybody sits around and thinks about what can be done that's never been done. You know, and just look for a new type of concept for a game as this new technology comes out in the next 2 years. Because you're going to have to do that. Because what's going to happen when you're done reusing all the ideas in existence? You're going to have to come up with something new. You're going to have to hit a refresh button. Because then eventually, once you do remasters of certain games and all that, then you're going to have to really go back to the drawing board or storyboard. And you're going to have to think of something new, something fresh for the next gen. You're going to have to consider coming up with something that's never been done. Because that's what us gamers are going to be looking for. In order to keep the interest, the engagement, the desire for people to want to buy your product, to be able to game to begin with. And the same for buying accessories for it. Because the thing of it is, everybody out there in the world is always, coming up with new design ideas and new ideas. That's how you're getting different products that you never thought you would see in our lifetime that exist out there now. Because everybody sits and thinks, lets their mind go, until they come up with an idea that they would never think would be plausible, or an idea that they would never think would work, but then they all got together as a team and worked with it and took the time as a team to make it work. Because that's usually what you have to do. You have to work as a team, you have to go over the idea and talk about it, discuss it, see if it's going to be something that'll work, and if it's something that will, then so be it. You talk about it, see if it's going to be a fit, see if it's going to fit in to your mold that you got, and you work it. And if it doesn't fit, then what you do is you go back to the drawing board, you come up with other ideas. Yeah, and that's what makes new game titles, or that's how you improve upon existing titles. That's how you get these unique ideas for continuing stories for games, is by just simply brainstorming. You brainstorm, you take the time to sit and just have people giving ideas, offering ideas out there, just tossing ideas and seeing what works. Because the thing of it is, you do that and you'd be surprised what'll happen. You know, when you have everybody, more and more games can get made. More and more games could get designed. But without the ideas, you're not really going to make those games, because if you're not brainstorming to keep making ideas for them, you really can't make them. You know, that's why you always got to keep coming up with ideas, design ideas, and creative. You got to take the time to just hash out and see what kind of good ideas comes from it. But you know, as a gamer, I love this passion, or I love this hobby, because, like I said, stories that grab a hold of me, and the way that gaming does for me. Yeah, it relaxes me. You know, making the videos is something I love to do. Sometimes it can be frustrating. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. I mean, sometimes it can be. But when I look at detail and how awesome things look, it reminds me of how hard someone else worked to make that game look that good. And how someone put that much detail to make that world come to life like that. And I respect that. You know, I respect the people that do that. And I enjoy gaming, because hold on, let me think for a second. But I enjoy gaming in general because of the fact of being able to just pick up a controller and escape just for that period of time, to get me away from my constant thinking, and the way that my mind sometimes drifts into these stressful things. When I game, it takes my mind elsewhere and gets me out of that pattern of constantly thinking, and puts my mind into a fictional world. And it helps me out with, you know, not constantly thinking, at least about the bad stuff from time to time that I've gone through. And the way that I can describe how much fun I have with the games, and the way I go about gaming, and the way that my skills are when I get onto a game that I play in a stealthy way. I'm more of a stealth and strategist when I get onto my games. So, say when I play like my war games or Ghost Recon, I'm more of the guy that you would see as like a stealthy sniper. I usually try to sit on a hillside somewhere and take out my enemies one by one, doing the slow, steady approach, because that's usually the wiser approach. I like to take that way of doing things, because in my opinion that's a lot better. Yeah, but that's just me. That's just me in general. But like I've said in all my videos, if you enjoy the content that I continue to bring, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share. That helps get my channel out there. I'm trying to reach at least 50 subscribers or more. Just trying to build this channel up for us all. You know, I love doing this, like I said. You know, I love coming on here and voicing my opinions. My chat is always open if you want to come chat and if you want to come and discuss things. I jump on here and talk about games that are coming out. I usually um, talk about games that I see at times on my pages. But if you ever just want to come and discuss things, hey, my chat's always open for that. Yeah, if you want to shoot the breeze and have a conversation, feel free. But like I said, I am excited, to really see over the next stride of time how things are going to play out with it all. But I have no doubt in my mind that that these game titles of Hitman 4, Division 3, I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool things being involved with that. Even Grand Theft Auto 6. But those would be my top 3 games. Hitman 4, Division 3, and GTA 6. And that's only because those are top 3 games of mine that I have been into for the longest time. Hitman 3 I haven't gotten back into, but that is another one eventually that I would like to get back into, just to run freelancer again on that. I do have to record part 3 when it comes to Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands. I tried to do that yesterday, and that video for some reason did not want to upload right. So I will be doing part 3 to that, so I can get that to upload the right way. But also to work with, if you can work with me, like I'm new to all this. Sometimes I might stall a little bit as I try to think. I have a little bit, I have anxiety, so, sometimes I have to go off of my thought process as I'm doing this, but I'm just, my mind's just blown, because I can't believe that they're bringing out Hitman 4. Because for a while there were so many people that were doubting if there would be Hitman 4. Because they ended Hitman 3 on a cliffhanger after he had caught up to that one guy and got rid of him, but they thought that was it. Now, I'm sorry if I spoiled that for some other people that may have not played Hitman 3. But sorry about that, by the way. But if you have not ever played Hitman 3 and you're into it, I recommend it. Hitman 3 is an awesome game. I've gotten hours and hours of enjoyment out of it. I highly recommend that. Now, if you haven't played Division 2 either, I would highly recommend playing that because it is fun. It is just as much fun as the Ubisoft classic of Ghost Recon Wildlands. Because what's cool about Division 2 and Wildlands is you can both play those stealthy, or you can play those loud and just go straight in. and do a run and gun approach. Now my son, he's a wild man. He'll go in with a run and gun approach. Me, I like to sit back, be the sniper, pick off the enemies one by one. The only way I won't do that is if an enemy knows I'm around. If they know I'm there or they get alerted, that's a different story. I'll go in guns blazing. That's the only way you'll ever see me open fire and just go in blazing, is if they realize I'm there. So, now Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, I also really have not been on there. Because sometimes you'll get on there and you get those players that are just downright disrespectful. I don't know if you guys have ever ran into players like that on there, but I know I have. I just haven't been much into wanting to go on there and play because of players like that. So that's pretty much why I have not dabbled or gotten back into that. That's why I've been playing the other ones lately. So we need to build hype for Hitman 4, and let's build some hype for Division 3, because now that we know that both of those are indefinitely in development, we need to be excited. Because those are going to be amongst some other titles that had been in development cycles for a period of time. So now that we know it's been confirmed for Division 3, and that we know Hitman 4 definitely is also in production now, and to be added eventually along with these other titles, even if they don't come out in 2026. Now, right now, there's no confirmed date for Hitman 3, or Hitman 4 and Division 3. Eventually, you'll see dates drop for them. Hopefully, with Ubisoft and with IO, hopefully they decide to drop those titles by next year, in a way, or the next year or two, because that might be a smarter move, given that there's at least a couple of AAA and AA titles this year, quite a few. So if they put some distance between it, I will not be upset. I'd just rather not have these other bigger games overshadowing those. Now, I'm not saying that Division 3 is not big in its own right. Division 3 is. But I don't want to have it to where it'll be crazy and people would not be able to get any of it in. And same goes for Hitman 4. Same thing. I wouldn't want people to feel like they're obligated to where they have to play that plus, Hitman 4 plus Division 3. No. You want to give gamers a chance to get time in on any of the games that come out. So they need the time for play. So that's what I've been saying even about all these titles this year. Gamers need a chance for playing and choosing what they're going to play. So we do need to give games space, just for that reason in general, to give gamers a chance. Because if you don't give gamers a chance, it doesn't help. Because then you're going to make the gamers go crazy and put too much pressure on them. So, now as far as GTA 6 and all the others, it's going to be cool. And at least, like I said before, plenty of choices and plenty of decisions for people to make. As the next few years go. So that's the good thing. So that's the main thing. It is great to see that they're finally giving us choices and decisions for all these games. But to be cramming so many games into 1 year, that's crazy. Now they could have given us a little more time, I would say, and they could have spaced these games out a little bit better maybe. But hopefully over the next few years that they learn from their mistake this time. And hopefully with the summer showcase, we see games release in like 2027, 2028. And that we start seeing some titles come out within those years, and they give some time, to let gamers breathe a little bit. So gamers don't feel like that they're pressured. Because it's already been a big enough year for 2026 with all these that I think gamers need that breathing time. They need that breathing room for more games in general. Today it's been a pretty much a relaxing day. It's been a decent day here. Weather's starting to improve a little bit. I would have been on last night, but I got tired and fell asleep on my couch last night, so, because I ended up having a migraine headache, so that's why I couldn't make it on last night. That's why I figured I'd get on today and make sure that I did a live for you guys today. So, but, but yeah, I mean, that's, but let's not pressure ourselves into thinking that we have to pay for, like, a lot of these, because we really don't. I mean, we have our choices of what we want to invest in, what we're not going to invest in. At least we have choices out there now. Not only that, there's a lot of great things over the next few months that you're going to start seeing. So, that's a good thing, That's the main thing. I'm trying to think of what else I can cover I haven't covered. Because I don't know what else. But I want to know what you guys are most excited about. What's your favorite game? It's coming out this year. What are you most excited for? What is it that you're going to be investing in that's going to drop this year? I mean, I've already shared what I'm going to be investing in and what I'm looking forward to. But you guys out there in my audience, let me know what you're going to be investing in. Drop in the comment section and all that. Feel free to drop in the comment section and tell me what you guys are going to be wanting to invest in. What your favorite game is. Because, I always like to hear from my viewers, what your favorite games are and all that. It's all good. There's going to be a lot of great games that are going to be coming. Lots of great options, great choices. So much to be excited for. Now, I don't know about accessories because I don't think you're really seeing a lot of accessories this year. But there are definitely a lot of games this year. But accessories, I don't think there will be. I think maybe a few accessories this year, guys. I don't think there's very many games, but there's more games than there would be hardware, even controllers or like newer headsets or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward. I know Resident Evil has dropped. I don't know how many people have so far played that. I mean, you could come and tell me how Resident Evil is, because I haven't really managed to look at that. So far, what I've seen from that, it looks like it's really good. I haven't managed to check out anybody else's stream to see what Resident Evil has been like, because I wanted to jump on here today real quick and get in a little bit of a live about Hitman 4 and Division 3, get a little bit of some stuff in on that, since yesterday I didn't get a chance to do that. So I don't know if anyone else wants to just, drop in, tell me how your day's going, or just let me know how it's been going, like, what games have you been enjoying, or, if you managed to play anything different, or, if there's anything that you're excited for. Or if anybody's played Resident Evil. Resident Evil 9 at all. So, but I know here in a little while from now, I'm going to try to get back on my Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands, because I'm going to re-record a new video that's going to go up on the channel here. I'm going to try to get a new video out of that, since I couldn't get the other video to go up. I'd like to try to get that up there, and then eventually get another Watch Dogs Legion up there. Or either that, get another Division 2 video up there, one of the two. otherwise, if I don't end up thinking about too much more, or if y'all don't wanna, there is no one out there that really has any opinions or anything they'd like to drop by and talk about, for now I'm just live until I get a chance to come back for another one. And you could still drop opinions or comments within my chat, at any given time on YouTube. I will, like I said, be dropping another video within my YouTube of Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands. That will definitely be coming. I have to re-record that because, like I said, I don't know what the heck happened to it, because it didn't want to download or upload, whatever have you. I don't know what the heck happened to it. So, but other than that, I mean, the real big two topics were Division 3 and Hitman 4. But if you're excited for those and many others, rally up, because those are definitely in development and they definitely will be coming out. As far as release dates, I will be paying attention on the internet just as much as you guys can simply pay attention as well. But I will be looking out as well, most definitely. I will be looking out further for those because I'm excited. Like I said, I can't wait to see what's going to be going on with those, honestly. And I have a feeling eventually, as the development goes on, you'll start getting screenshots, and you'll start getting little things further down the road on that. And like I said, let's get excited because in June you got the showcase that's going to drop. You got other things that are going to be coming out in March. We're going to be starting to see, we're not going to be that much further away from Forza Horizon 6, which is coming to Japan. So let's be excited for that. Whatever games that are coming in March. So most exciting year for games this year. And let's hope that 2027 is the same when it drops next year, or when next year hits too. I just hope that we keep having years like this, and that we don't have no empty years anymore. That even whenever, with this change in place now, that I hope it never changes. That we continue to keep having releases of games. That it doesn't dry up, but we keep having games where it fills years and years with games. So hopefully it keeps being this way. So, because I think if we keep having years like this, then I think it's going to be great, because they will see at these companies that people, that they'll always have gamers, especially if games are getting released like this. But I had to come on here and do a live for you guys. But I will catch you guys on the next one. Top Gamer out.